I welcome all of you to the fourth session of fifth chapter, Market Equilibrium. Today we're going to discuss about the simultaneous shift in supply and demand and market equilibrium when free entry and free exit exist. In the previous video or in the previous class, we were discussing about the effects of shift in demand and supply on equilibrium, price and quantity. It is discussed under three heads. The very first one was shift in demand while supply remains the same, and the second one shift in supply while demand remains the same. And the third session, simultaneous shift or simultaneous change in supply and demand. Simultaneous shift in supply and demand. That means at the same time both supply curve and demand curve are changing. It can happen in four possible ways. The very first one is both demand curve and supply curve shift rightwards. The second case is both demand curve and supply curve shift leftwards. And the third case is demand curve shift rightward and supply curve shift leftward. And the fourth case is demand curve shift leftward and supply curve shift rightward. So these are the four possible ways in which demand and supply moves together. The impact on equilibrium price and quantity in all four cases are given here. When demand and supply curve shift rightwards, the equilibrium quantity increases and the equilibrium price may increase or decrease or remain unchanged. If the rate of increase in demand and supply are same, then the equilibrium price remain unchanged. So the equilibrium price, it depends upon the rate of increase in demand and supply. If the rate of increase in demand and supply are same, then the price remain unchanged. The second case is where when demand curve and supply curve shift leftwards, the equilibrium quantity decreases and the equilibrium price may increase or decrease or remain unchanged. If the demand curve shift to the right and supply curve shift to the left, then equilibrium quantity, it may increase or decrease or remain unchanged. Then what happens to equilibrium price? It increases. If the demand curve shift leftward and the supply curve shift rightward, equilibrium quantity may increase or decrease or remain unchanged, while the equilibrium price, it decreases. If the demand curve shift to the left and supply curve shift to the right in the same rate, the equilibrium price decreases and the equilibrium quantity remains unchanged. So it depends upon the rate of change. The next topic is market equilibrium with free entry and free exit. In this market, new firms can freely enter the industry and existing firms can leave the industry at any time. So under free entry and free exit, a new firm can enter into the industry easily and existing firm can leave from the industry at any time. There is no restriction regarding entry and exit. Any firm can enter into the industry and any firm can exit from the industry. There is no restriction. Such a industry is called such a market is called a market with a free entry and free exit. Free entry and free exit implies that no firm earns supernormal profit or incurs loss at equilibrium. All firms can earn normal profit. So under free entry and free exit market, no firm is earning supernormal profit. What is supernormal profit? This is the profit that a firm earns over and above normal profit. Such profit is called a supernormal profit. No firm is earning supernormal profit under free entry and free exit, and no firm is earning or incurring loss. All firms are enjoying normal profit. So what will be the reason behind that normal profit? If there is any supernormal profit or if there is any abnormal profit in an industry, new firms will enter. As a result of the new firms, the supply curve shift to the right. That means supply increases, and due to the increase in supply, price comes down and supernormal profit disappears. So this is what happens to the supernormal profit. If there is new supernormal profit in the industry, then it causes the entry of new firms. Due to the entry of new firms, the supply in the market increases. As a result of that, price comes down or price falls and supernormal profit disappears. And in case of loss, when existing firms are incurring loss, obviously they will stop production and leave from the industry. When they leave, supply decreases, which means supply curve shift to the left. As a result, price increases and firm gets normal profit. So this is the process happening under free entry and free exit market. If there is if supernormal profit is there, it will attract new firms, and as a result of new firms, the supply increases in the market, supply curve shift to the right and price falls. As a result, supernormal profit disappears. Similarly, when existing firms incur loss, they will stop production and leave from the industry. When they leave, the supply decreases. As a result of that, supply curve shift to the left, and due to that, the price increases and firm gets normal profit. That's why no firm earns supernormal profit or incurs loss at equilibrium under free entry and free exit. All firms are enjoying normal profits. Firm earn normal profit when price is equal to minimum average cost. So where both there is a free entry and exit, equilibrium price will be equal to the minimum point of average cost. That is, the price must be equal to minimum of AC. AC means average cost. For earning normal profit, the price should be equal to the minimum of average cost. Then only firm can enjoy normal profit. Which means the price must cover at least average cost of the firm. Then only they can exist. They can enjoy normal profit. When price is more than average cost, what happens? Obviously, new firms will enter into the market, and when price is less than minimum AC, if the price is not including, means if the price is not covering at least the minimum average cost, then existing firms will stop the production and leave from the market. Then what happens? If existing firms stop production and leave from the market, the supply decreases. As a result of price again increases, and when price is more than minimum AC, it will attract new firms. Due to their entry, the supply increases and price falls. So for enjoying normal profit, the price must cover at least the average cover. So price must be equal to minimum AC under free entry and free exit. Therefore, in perfect competition, price will always be the minimum of average cost. When price is more than the minimum AC, new firms will enter into the market, and when price is less than minimum AC, some existing firms stop production and leave from the market. So, in perfect competition, price will always be the minimum of average cost. Here in this diagram, DD is our demand curve, and it is a situation of perfectly elastic supply. What is the feature of perfectly elastic supply? When a slight change in price leads to an infinite change in supply, that's called a perfectly elastic supply. Under perfectly elastic supply, the supply curve will be parallel to x-axis. So the parallel curve is called our supply curve. So it is a situation of perfectly elastic supply. That's why the supply curve is parallel to x-axis. Here in this diagram, price is plotted on the y-axis and the quantity is plotted on the x-axis. And the P, the corresponding curve is called supply, which is parallel to x-axis. In this situation, supply will be perfectly elastic. Therefore, the quantity of output supplied at minimum AC is determined by the market demand at that price. So where supply is perfectly elastic, so we are fixing the price. I mean the demand, the market, the price is determined by the market demand. Market demand alone determines the price. DD intersects the price line. Price is equal to minimum AC at point E. P is the equilibrium price and Q is our equilibrium quantity. If market price P is equal to minimum AC and Q is market demand, then QF is the supply of the firm, then and N is the number of firms. At price P, the number of equilibrium firms in the market will be N is equal to Q is divided by QF. So how to calculate equilibrium firms in the market? Number of equilibrium firms in the market by using the formula Q divided by QF. Q stands for market demand and QF is the supply of the firm. This is the equation to calculate the number of equilibrium firms in the market when price is equal to minimum average cost. It is explained with the help of an example. This is the example. Suppose the market demand function Q day is equal to 200 minus P and supply function QF is equal to 100 plus P and market price, which is equal to minimum average cost, it is 20. Find the equilibrium number of firms. First of all, we are going to calculate demand and supply. QD is the demand function, which is equal to 200 minus P. The price, the P is already given here. P is equal to 20. So 200 minus 20, we get 180 as the demand. Then we are going to calculate supply. The supply function is equal to 10 plus P. 10 plus 20, we get 30. So 30 is the supply. Then how to calculate the equilibrium number of firms? Using the equation N is equal to Q divided by QF. Q stands for market demand, which is 180, and QF stands for supply, which is 30. So 180 divided by 30, we get 6. 6 is the equilibrium number of firms.